So, this is the first of hopefully a series of recordings trying to show a little bit of the progress of this project. Now, the idea of this project is to basically create a prototype for a game. Nothing too advanced. The idea is not to produce an entire game, but rather just creating a functioning prototype, mostly aiming at portfolio purposes. In this case, sorry, animation purposes. So the idea is first of all creating an entirely functioning character, the one you see here. Uh, this is a rig created by Kiel Fiends. Quite nice models. You should definitely check them out. The rig is his. Animations are done by means of mostly basic mocap captures from Xamo and doing some cleanups to them. At the moment, this kind of animations are not the final ones, but rather just placeholders to make sure that the basic capabilities of the character are in place. So yeah, let's start studying a little bit of what the character is able to do at the moment. So the idea is to create a third-person action shooter. So of course, let's start by talking about shooting. At the moment, a handgun is the basic weapon our character has at hand. She can reload. Very basic reload again, it's all for just demonstration purposes, nothing final. But as you can see, she can move at a very basic level. Shoot and move, meaning in this case strafing. The idea is that she'll have a more free movement when you're not aiming, but once you start aiming down sights, you should be able to still move, but make an emphasis on shooting. So as you can see, she can still move, she can still reload while moving. Now as you can see, the character has this sort of jetpack in her back. So the idea is to give her quite a wider range of movement than usual third person characters. So of course she can jump, but more than jump, she can hover. Now you can see the bar on the lower left. The idea is that most of these augmented movements consume her bar, which recharges in time. So hovering is one of them. She can also hover and she can hover, move around. Now here's a little bit of her movement without shooting, just hovering. Again, let's reload real quick. The idea is to give the ability to both maintain movement but make more effort in maintaining a steady aiming. So it's not like she should be moving around a whole lot and just like shoot like mad, but rather move around very freely, but also making an emphasis on when to stop or move at a slower pace in order to shoot. Now, she also has far more capabilities at the moment. One of them is dashing. Now she can dash and stop. She can dash and keep running. She can also dash and slide for a little bit. That came off wrong, of course. Like many of this are still in development, so they're not the final movements at all. You can use this to, for example, like crawl beneath objects or things. You can also do that while you're crawling. You can also shoot, of course, while you're crawling. Not all crawling animations are ready, but she does have a few already in place when she's crouching. Um, she can also hover and try to move out of place when in danger, so she can combine both hovering and dashing. These consume far more energy than usual, so it's not like you can abuse them, depending on the situation, of course. She can also, and still under development, of course, but run and waltz. So the idea is again to start trying to give her as much mobility as possible. She also has upwards one. It's very rough still, but she can also do the usual running between walls. Again, it's a lot of testing yet. It's the very first stage right now, but as you can see, she can do that too. Now she has a few weapons at her disposal. Animations for handgun are the only ones in place at the moment, but eventually she'll be able to use an SMG. She'll be able to use a sniper rifle. She'll be able to use a shotgun. Again, sorry, because it's like the handgun is the only weapon at the moment. And she'll be also able to use a hook. Though the hook is very premature right now, but for you to get an idea, the idea is for you to be able to launch a hook that'll be tethered to the character, and she'll continue playing as normal, dashing, maybe crouching. But if you were to use the hook weapon and the dash, you will be able to launch yourself towards the hook position. And wherever you are, you'll be able to continue shooting. Now, if you decide that that's enough, if you need to move to the next place in an emergency, you can let go of your current hook and continue hovering, for example. So far, this is, in terms of gameplay, the few things that are in place. There will be a little bit more fine tuning, a little bit more of adding animations, implementing a few more mechanics until eventually we'll have a fully functioning character, which we will eventually include in cinematics, and if everything goes fine, into a boss fight. That, of course, is still very much along the way, but I do want to document the process so far to give viewers an example of how the process is going so far. Hopefully soon I will show you a little bit more of the next cutscene that will take place. That's also in development on the free time. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.